What if the biggest animated franchise of all time was a complete accident?
What?
Because that's exactly what happened with Despicable Me. This movie came out swinging with a premise that should not have worked. A supervillain adopts 3 kids to steal the moon and somehow turn that chaos into billions. We're talking about a franchise that makes Marvel money, all because audiences fell in love with a guy named Gru and his army of banana-obsessed chaos agents. But here's what we want to know. Was this actually brilliant storytelling disguised as a kids' movie? Or did Universal just stumble backwards into animation gold? Let's dive into the movie that changed everything as we watch another movie at Grandma's house. Hello, please come in. There's some fresh cookies in the cookie jar. There's a pitcher of Kool-Aid on the counter. Make yourself comfy. I'm your host, Isaac. It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die. And who's with me to review the movie Despicable Me?
This is Seth. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's great to see everyone. We're glad you stopped by. How you feeling, Seth?
I'm feeling great. So excited.
Me as well. This is a fun movie, and we're going to get into it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun discussing this one. But before we do, we want to make sure you, the viewer, the listener at home, have a proper spoiler warning from here on out. It is spoiler territory, so consider yourself warned. So let's get into some film facts. Despicable Me was released back on July 9th, 2010. It had a budget of $69 million, but the box office, $543.2 million. And looking around at some reviews, IMDb, it sits at a 7.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has a 80%. Letterboxd has a 3.6 out of 5. As of this recording, you can watch it for free on streaming on Netflix. It stars Steve Carell as Gru, Kristen Wiig, Miranda Cosgrove, and Julie Andrews. This is in association with Illumination and Universal Pictures. And last but not least, we got to get to Granny's family-friendly rating. So Seth, what is that rating?
Granny's family-friendly rating for Despicable Me is a B for crude humor and mild violence.
So there you go. We'll get into it more. And just a quick service announcement. If you like what you're hearing, be sure you hit a like down below. Leave us a comment of your thoughts on the movie Despicable Me. But let's get into it. I'm really curious to hear, what are your first memories with this film?
So I actually saw this on the big screen with the group, and it was a very memorable day.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love those just group goes to see them. I'll be honest, I didn't see it when it first came out, but the buzz for this movie, it was next to nothing. It just exploded, and we're going to, I'm sure, talk about that at length of what impact this movie made, but I wasn't one of those that saw it right away, so I was late to the party, so to say, but I recall having a good time with it. I've a lot of funny lines in this one. There was people that would always quote them, so that's kind of my memories thinking back when it first came out, was kind of being the lame one, the one that wasn't really seeing it right away and knowing the quotes until after the fact. But it was a fun memories when I first saw it. I remember having a good time with it. But with that said, what were your expectations going back on the rewatch?
On the rewatch, just to enjoy myself.
Yes, this is, in my opinion, one of those just funny movies for families. So my usual, I want to just have a good time with my kids. And that's every movie that we do, but I still have to make mention of it because that's how much it means to me, is if the kids can enjoy it. And I recall it'd been actually a little while since I'd seen it, but I was like, I don't remember if there was anything to be concerned about. So I was more interested in that. But just like you, just have a great time with it. That was pretty much my expectation as well. Well, before we get into the plot rewind, let's take just a moment to pause for our sponsor. Hey, love movies as much as we do? Then bring the experience of the theater to your walls with movieposters.com. Whether you're into the classics, the blockbusters, or indie gems, they have something for every single film fanatic. As a listener of our podcast, you can save up to 15% on your order right now. Just use code Grandma's House at checkout. Head to movieposters.com and let's build your ultimate collection today. All right, so let's pull up Netflix. Let's select Despicable Me and press play.
Gru, a criminal mastermind, adopts 3 orphans as pawns to carry out the biggest heist in history. His life takes an unexpected turn when the little girls see the evildoer as their potential father. Lots of action, laughs, and adorableness. Come along and watch another fun movie at Grandma's house.
Right. This is just a interesting and unique. That's the first thing that comes to my mind about this movie. If you have no idea what you're getting into, I would love to see people's reaction. I go back to, again, people kind of told me about it. That's my only regret. I wish I would have went into it a little more blindly, but I'm interested to hear what's kind of your first impressions as you watch the movie.
It's just well done. Overall, it's a very strong film. I could wrap it up like this. Lots of laughs and cute moments.
Oh, yes. This has so many quotes. I don't think I could have kept up with them if I tried. It's just one of those, sit back and enjoy it because you have Steve Carell. And to me, he's hilarious. I think for the most part, he's a likable guy, but whether you love him or hate him, he fits this role so well to me. Tremendous voice acting in this one, and he's a big part of that. You have just this really cool character arc. I'm more interested with the plot. The plot's very interesting. Maybe start there. What did you think of the plot? As you mentioned, it's about this supervillain, but he adopts these 3 kids and that aspect as it grows.
So it's a very strong plot. Lots of twists in this one. I will say what's interesting about it, like you mentioned, is the character arc. It's not just Gru, but it's everybody in the film. And I really, one of the things I really like was the background characters, like the adoption agency or the whatever that lady, played by Kristen Wiig, I think.
Yeah.
She's so funny. Just her character coming back and then saying, I read the Spanish dictionary and everything. Really, really funny dialogue for this one.
Yes. Kristen Wiig is in it before. I think she was pretty big, but not big like she is today or shortly after that. But she nails that. Just really, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, just moody and no nonsense at that adoption place. And I've got the quotes there, and I'm blanking on what she says, but she's pulling up his information on his resume, and she's just like, "Oh, you gave a whole resume. I really love to read." She's very sarcastic about it. I love that line, though. She's just like, "Oh, thanks. I got to read now," that kind of thing. But yeah, it's great. I agree with you 100%. The background characters are honestly what really shine about this movie. Gru is great. Don't get me wrong, but there's so many good side characters, and they aid the plot. They aid the comedy in this film. I mean, everybody kind of has their moment of being funny. You have
even the dog, the dog. Yeah. It's so funny. So
what'd you think of the dog? I mean, the dog was I thought it was hilarious.
It brings me back to the very first time I saw it. I should have said this earlier. So when I saw the movie, I didn't really know anything about it. And I'd maybe seen an ad or two, but I didn't know anything about it. So I was really fresh when I saw it. And I can think back to how awkward that dog looks at the beginning of the movie. But by the end of the film, it's like a part of the family and you love it. And it was like all the characters grow on you. It's amazing.
Yes, they do such a good job with that. This was one of, if not the first, and maybe that's a fun fact, so I'll stop there, but Illumination, one of their first movies they did, and they just nailed it. I mean, I can't praise them enough for the animation itself. You're talking, about 15 years. Yeah, 15 years old. I mean, that's crazy. I feel like that was just yesterday. But 15 years old, the animation still holds up really well, in my opinion. It's got its unique style. Again, I go back to that word, unique. But the plot is just really unique. It is. I use that word about the plot of just different. And it has that, like you said, a character arc that Gru goes through. But like you mentioned, exactly, everybody changes. Even his assistant is really stern and stuff, but he kind of lightens up towards the end. The children all have their arc as well. And I love that. I mean, I'm a sucker for character arcs. So that's A+ for me on the plot. I love the plot. It never gets old to me. it's just entertaining. It's what you want out of a movie. But we've been kind of beating around the bush. We got to go to the characters. So what are some more characters that you want to bring out?
So we can talk about it at length if you want, but I'm going to read off what I wrote down. So Gru is hilarious. The little girls are too cute and funny. And Vector, voiced by Jason Segel, was amazing. But also you've got Dr. Nefario, and was great in his own way. And someone that keeps popping up in the podcast is Will Arnett. But the whole entire cast was just brilliant. And we could go into it, I mean, each character if you wanted, but it's just really, really casted well.
It is. I only mentioned a few. This stars a lot of big actors. I mean, you couldn't really get to all of them, but yeah, I mean, Jason Segel, he's terrific as Vector. Just so arrogant, so, oblivious at times. That's what's so great is he's this villain, but I love one of the little things you can blink and miss it. It does come more in focus towards the end, but the beginning, the pyramid is stolen, and it turns out Vector's the one that steals it. But I don't know why. Every time I see it, I crack up because the pyramid sits behind his hideout, and it's just painted sky blue.
Yeah.
Like hiding in plain sight. It's so silly, but I love it. It's so good. His scenes in his hideout, I love it. I laugh every time where they're trying to get in and get the shrink ray and that type of thing. But yeah, it's just a fun characters. Every scene, like I said, they seem like they get their own spotlight. The other ones that kind of jump out to me is, Dr. Nefario. I really like him. He makes the fart gun, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you said dart gun." He's like this brilliant scientist, but he's also kind of like, you could see there's a screw loose or two there. And I love it. It's great. But he turns out to have a good heart. He is more accepting of the kids. Again, going back to that character arc. But yeah, I got to get your thoughts. What did you think of more about the kids? You said they're kind of cute, but what did you think about their different personalities and dynamics going on?
Yeah, it's hard to cast. I know that they weren't exactly like as the age of the voiceover actors, but it's hard to cast young children to fit into such a big role. And they casted well. They all have their unique, like you said, personalities. They're just really funny in their own way and quirky. And I love the girls. The girls.
Yeah. And they're of course a big part of the plot where, Gru wants to steal the moon, and that premise is just hilarious. Obviously, just we're going to steal the moon. That's just a great scene. That's probably my favorite scene. We'll have to come back to that. But he uses the kids to get the shrink ray back because they have those cookies that they sell door to door. The premise is he needs a shrink ray to steal the moon. But that arc of his character, going back to Gru, that is so well done because, and if this is a fun fact, you can stop me, but I heard the directors, they didn't like how mean he was at the beginning, and he's a jerk. Like the kid drops the ice cream cone and he blows up a balloon and gives it to him and then pops it on purpose. I mean, you're just like, wow, this guy is a true villain. He freeze raised the whole people there in the coffee shop, even the guy not in line. Did you notice that? Like the guy's just sitting there. Yes. You're just like, this guy's a jerk. Like, wow, he's just so obnoxious. But again, he's just using the kids. By the end, the oldest and him, they have that special moment. I'm not ashamed to say it almost brings a tear to my eye every time when she hugs him and says, "I love you," because she at first says, "You'll never be my dad." So that whole arc is just beautiful. I just love that. Any kind of change where a character grows to become a better person, I'm a sucker for it every time. So that's what I love about the kids. They bring that out in them. I mean, what'd you think of Agnes though? She's kind of the scene stealer when it comes to the comedy.
I thought all the kids were just amazing. Agnes is great. The scene to me that gets me choked up is when he reads the book to them at the end.
Yeah.
And I just lose it, man. I lose it every time. I've probably seen this movie, and I'm not even kidding, like close to 15 times. So
wow.
I love that scene at the, towards the end of the film. That gets me. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And it's a pretty good book. Like the book they read about the kittens, it's
Yeah,
really well
yeah,
done.
yeah,
Like the art,
yeah.
and then they, use the kittens to drink the
Yeah,
milk.
yeah.
I was
And
like,
then like the little things that you wouldn't expect to be great were great in this movie. Like
yeah,
just little side features that weren't like necessarily aiding the plot or anything. It's all great. Like they really spent their time on making this, and I really appreciate that.
that's how I felt too. I agree with you 100%. It's just well crafted. I mean, this was like a passion project. I don't know how else to put it. You could feel they wanted to tell a fun story, but also have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it, but we've been missing out on what has made this such a cultural phenomenon is the Minions. The Minions are a huge part of this movie. As much as the story revolves around Gru and the girls and their arc, you have these Minions, these unique creatures that do Gru's bidding. So what are your thoughts on the Minions? I'd love to hear.
What I like about the Minions is that they don't take themselves seriously. And that allows you to open up a world of entertainment. I mean, it's just really amazing. And so glad they had a spinoff for sure. But yeah, the Minions, just one joke after another, and they all land perfectly. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just truly amazing.
Yes, they're the scenes, the ultimate. I like I said, each
Yes.
character has its own spotlight, but they steal any scene that they're in and hand it to them. It might be overdone. There's a lot of memes and all these like people that would use them in whatever like life lessons. I remember getting some of those, a picture of a minion. It was just everywhere.
Yeah.
But I feel even though they might have been overhyped, quote unquote, they're still hilarious. I mean, they're that for a reason. I go back to that first scene when Gru is telling them we're going to steal the moon. That is one of my favorite scenes because you're introduced to the minions, but I still crack up at it. And he's just like, our plan, we are going to, and they get all their weapons out. And he's like, wait a minute, I haven't even told you yet. And someone misfires a missile and blows up the minions. I don't know why I will laugh every time at that scene. It just gets my funny bone every time. It's in cartoon fun, so none of them are actually harmed. But the one goes up, he's like all smoky and stuff. He just punches the one. Gets me every time. I love it. It's just so hilarious. But yeah, what are some, again, going back to there's so many quotes. What are some scenes that are funny or quotes, things like that?
So I wrote down a few. So the first one I wrote down was, Mom, someday I'm going to the moon. And Gru's mom says, I'm afraid you're too late, son. NASA isn't sending buggies anymore.
So cold. So cold. His mom, man.
And then another one you used as the opener, he's so fluffy, I'm going to die. That's the quote that we use all the time, regardless of what's going on. We just say that in the house all the time. So
Yes.
he's so fluffy, I'm going to die. Yeah. It's so fluffy. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. And another one I wrote down was, in terms of money, we have no money.
Oh, there's so many. I lose track of them, but it's just
There's probably like 75 good quotes in this movie, probably.
I agree with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
if we were to put a number, that sounds about right. I would say
Yeah.
close to 100 because I'm just chuckling throughout the whole movie, even now. But when I first saw it, I remember just laughing a lot just throughout. I mean, go back to the the adoption. I'm just trying to get my words on it, but I go back to that. That is another one of my favorite scenes is when she's reading the resume and she's just like, oh, you've won the Medal of Honor. That's nice. And you can hold your breath for 30 seconds. That's not very impressive. And then them fighting with each other. It's just hilarious. Yeah, there's their noises they make, sucker, and the what? Ba-boy, all that. I do that with my kids. I'll say, ba-boy, and they'll go, ba-boy. We just, their own little language. It's what really caught on with people, I think, is that just unique. You kind of know what they're saying, but they're not saying it. It's their own minion language. It's all great. It's just so much fun. But yeah, I could go on and on, but what's anything else that you want to touch on?
I mean, honestly, I'm looking forward to the fun facts. I don't know about you, but
Yeah. Yes,
we got some
I'm
good
looking
ones.
forward.
We
I
some
got
good
one more
ones.
quote I was going to throw in there. I
Sure.
almost forgot the bomb beds that he has, that he puts the kids in. He's like putting them to bed.
Yes.
And the one child's like, were these old bombs? She's like, yes, they're not likely to go off though. Try not to toss and turn.
It's those little things. It's the little things they did with this movie that are just make it wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. But that was the only one I want to throw in. Hit me with what you got for the fun facts, because I can't wait.
All right. While Gru is floating in space and orbiting the moon, we see that the number on Gru's Swan Lake ticket is 072069 for July 20th, 1969. And that is the date of the first moon landing, which Gru is seen watching in flashbacks.
Oh, very nice. I didn't catch that one. That's really cool. I love those little nods.
And so I knew about that fun fact, and so I was watching the whole movie, and they show that number over and over again. So it's kind of cool. I really was like, oh yes, I'm gonna love this one.
Yes, that's a really good one. You blink and you can miss it, but it's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything in this movie, if you blink, you're gonna miss it. In his application to adopt the girls, Gru's first name is given as Felonious.
I love it. That's great.
Did you know the original title was Evil Me?
Okay. That's what they're kind of going for.
Yeah. It might have been like what you were saying. He was a little bit too evil at the beginning, and they kind of like wanted to go a little bit of a different, direction with that. So,
yeah. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Steve Carell was like, no, you've got to keep how much of a jerk he is. Like, I want that, because he even brought that out. His character arc, that payoff isn't going to be nearly as good. And I 100% agree with him. He was right on that.
Yeah. So speaking of Steve Carell, Steve Carell describes Gru's accent as a cross between Ricardo Montalban and Bela Lugosi, which is, if you think about it, is perfect. That's nailing it. I don't know where he came up with that accent, like how the inspiration of molding those two together, but that's just awesome.
I agree.
All right. So it's time for a fun fact trivia question. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I got this.
It's another true or false. So true or false, during the dance sequence, DJ Minion is using a Blu-ray disc player with the same color and font style as the writing as a Blu-ray player. True or false?
Oh, man. I'm just going to say true.
True is right. You're correct.
All right.
Yes.
I'm back on track. There we go.
Back on track.
Okay. I was like, it sounds right, but I'm like, I got to just trust. It doesn't always work, but I think I'm more right than not if I just go with it, not overthink it. So
yeah.
All right.
When you overthink it, it's like going away from your gut is never a good thing with trivia. So
yeah. I'm not going to claim to be good at trivia, but it does feel nice when you get one every once in a while. So I'll take this one.
They say, okay, so I'm a big trivia nut. So they say that going with your gut is what's internally in you. Like that's what's in you, and you know the answer. But then when you think about it, you're like I said, going away from that instinct, and then you lose the question. So they say to always go, if you have a gut instinct, go with it in trivia.
You're coaching me along, so I feel good going into future trivia. Thank you for that. I'm going to keep that in mind. You're kind of giving me a cheat code so for next time. All right. I love it, though. Always a good time if I can get the trivia. But before we get to our reviews, we like to look around the net to see what other people's thoughts are. So, Seth, what kind of reviews are you seeing?
So my favorite repeat offender, the little songbird, says, cute and wonderfully inventive, 9 out of 10.
Very nice. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just inventive. You look back at the movies since, they've kind of copied that formula a little bit. And not that they reinvented the wheel or anything, but they did. I agree with that statement. They kind of made it inventive in certain ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one was Vicky_Smarty said, a laugh riot. We'll watch it again. 10 out of 10.
Wow. 10 out of 10. There's our first one, but I'm with her. Yeah, it's a laugh riot. It just kick back, get ready to laugh. You're going to be having a good time.
And our last one is Major Film Fan says, hilarity and heart are a great mix for an excellent movie. 10 out of 10.
Oh, there you go. Another one. All right. So almost all 10s, but it's a great time. Yeah. There's not much else to say. Let's get down to it. Let's go ahead and share our final rating review. So, Seth, got to ask you, like I always do, for Despicable Me, how are you going to rate it? Are you going to take it home? Are you going to watch it at grandma's? Or are you going to hide it in the attic?
So I will take this one home because it's so fun and adorable. And as an overview, I will say it's so much fun with a great variety of entertainment. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll laugh. It's just well put together.
I love it. This is, I'm going to just say it, one of the most fun experiences I've had going back and watching a movie, because it's just an experience. You got to get people that really, I'm trying to think of ones that don't like this movie, and I can't think of any. It's just universally loved, it seems like. And if you don't like it, I that's fine. That's your opinion. But to me, the ones that I've actually met, it's just a great time. I don't know what else to say. It's an obvious take it home for me because I've seen it, I'd say maybe at least half a dozen to 10 times. I've seen it a good amount of times, and my kids love it. They just chuckle at the minions. You hear them giggle, the minions, them giggle, and then you hear your kids giggle. It is something else. It is, so much fun. I mean, if I just want to have a good time with my kids watching a movie, I'm reaching for this one first. Dare I say this is one of the best experiences that we've had so far. Just going back, I'm going to put that on record. It was a absolute blast. And that's something that factors into my score. How I would rate it is maybe it's not the most perfect, Oscar worthy movie. I do feel like this could be that. But my point being, I just love experiences. And this was one of the best experiences. It's just a wonderful movie. It's got heart. It's got comedy. It's got great voice acting. All the works. What else do you want? I mean, it's got everything you need in it. So it's a no-brainer. Surprise, surprise for anyone that didn't see that coming. But yeah, it's a take it home. And I proudly stamp that on that for this movie.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
All right. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another movie in the books. But before we wrap things up, Seth, why don't you tell the good people where they can find and connect with us?
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and TikTok now, I should say. Movies at Grandma's House at gmail.com. We have a newsletter, so keep up to date with all things movies at Grandma's House. And go to movieposters.com and type in Grandma's House at checkout for 15% off.
That's it. Yes, be sure you're on our newsletter because we just recently had a winner for the month of September. A big shout out. It was Heidi. You won a free poster from movieposters.com. So big round of applause for you, Heidi. You have a free poster now in your possession. And that was for being on our newsletter. So all you got to do is be on our newsletter. You are entered in every month. So don't miss out. Make sure you're signed up if you aren't already. Well, that's going to do it for our time at Grandma's, but don't worry, we will be back soon. So in the meantime, remember to be kind and rewind. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.